Welcome to another episode of Alpha Intuition Podcast, where I'm going to help you guys to become the CEO of your life. I'm your host, Keishelle Blair. And if this is your first time joining the show, please make sure that you like and subscribe and also hit that notification button so you can get notified when we drop our episodes, which is usually every Saturday morning. Now, Alpha Intuition family, today I have a really special guest. He is an international speaker from the Chicagoland, and he shares his amazing story of turning tough times into opportunities for growth. He's also going to talk about why it's important to take responsibility for your choices, have belief in yourself, and to hold yourself accountable when you make mistakes. His story is powerful, his energy is real, and he has a way of inspiring students to make good decisions and to make things happen. So I'm really, really excited to have Johnny Coz to join Alpha Intuition. What's up, Johnny? How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Let me turn my mic up a little bit. All
Okay.
right, man. I just want to make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, you're great. You're good.
Okay, awesome. So, wow, yeah. What is the weather like today in Chicago?
Oh my goodness. When I woke up 5:45 this morning. The first thing I looked at was my Apple Watch to check how I slept, and then the second thing was the AccuWeather, and uh, real feel of negative 18 at 5:45.
Mm-mm.
So do not come to Chicago, and if you do come to Chicago, bring your snow apparel. But I lie. It is supposed to be 50 degrees on Sunday, so that's kind of the
Oh,
dynamic you get
man.
when you live here.
Man, I don't know. It's just cold. That's cold enough. Any negative anything, I don't even, that's just like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna leave you guys right up there in Chicago. I'll come see you in the summertime when it's like, what, -2.
Oh, that's the thing. In the summertime, you don't even want to come because then it's 110 and humid. So
Yeah.
it's pick your poison.
You gotta pick your poison. No. All right. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for bundling up and joining the show. And we're gonna jump right in.
Perfect.
All
I'm
right.
excited. Excited.
All right. So I know you mentioned to me that you talk about, we were talking, before the show, you talk to students and just about certain things and try to help them just to overcome obstacles for opportunity and growth. So talk to me about your journey and what made you want to start speaking to students.
Yeah, in June of this year, I was let go from a job, and I was really looking for uh, something. I'm just trying to use the things that I was given, my gifts, to make a change and find purpose in this world. And as I was navigating kind of what I wanted to dive into, I knew it wasn't what I was doing previously. Um, so just after a while, kind of mulling around, I was speaking to some friends, and they're like, "Wow, your story's so powerful, and you speak so well, and you speak with such realness." And
Mm-hmm.
so with that being said, after that was said, and I was on Facebook, and motivational speaking um, sponsorship or ad came on, and I decided to do the seminar. It was for a seminar, a 3-day seminar, and I decided to do the seminar. And right from then, I was just completely hooked on wanting to create this mission of sharing my story and helping other people who went through similar obstacles. And when I started to try to navigate who I wanted to speak to, I reached out to my old high school football coach and let him kind of know what I was trying to get into. And he asked if I wanted to coach this season. And I honestly, I'm just trying to build this right now. So I had a lot of free time, and I I love that football program with all my heart. So I decided it was a no-brainer. And from the moment I walked into that high school and just met all these kids and just listening to some of their stories and some of the things that they're going through, I'm like, wow, that's really relatable. And some of the things that they've done or they've experienced in their life, I've experienced, and a lot of those experiences, I made poor choices. So being able to kind of guide them through my experience and my thought process, and kind of give that to them to use, and just give them the power to make smart choices. And it was from there. It was just I knew I just wanted to speak to students, student athletes, all students alike, because every student has a story.
So coaching high school football, is it high school, right?
Yeah, high school football.
Okay. So is that like the sweater that you have on right now? How do you pronounce that? Schaumburg?
Schaumburg,
Schaumburg.
Saxon. We're
Got it all
located,
wrong.
yeah, we're about 30 miles west of of Chicago in the suburbs, and uh, just love this program very much.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question. So how is coaching relatable to motivational speaking?
Well, it's constantly, you're really inspiring kids to find the inner strength in themselves to be the best possible version of themselves. So you're doing that in the weight room, you're doing that in the football field, and you're also doing that on stage, right? So
Mm.
just that's really the correlation, just giving kids the power, um, just to speak and just make good choices and whatnot.
Wow, that's good. So, like you mentioned that, just to help the students to overcome things, or you see some of the traits that you used to have in some of these students. Um, when you look at the students, do you find yourself giving them advice that you wish people would have given you when you were younger?
Yeah, I think a lot of students right now, a lot of their schedules are so packed, and there's a lot of pressure on them to succeed. And I think, when you kind of just talking to kids, you're like, oh, what do you kind of want to do with your life? And they're like, I don't know. And that's their eyes. They're like, I don't know. And I think what was something that I wish I would have known when I was younger, that you don't need to have it all figured out
Mm.
when you leave high school. But what you do need are certain foundations to carry yourself from that high school student to either a college student, or if you join the workforce or the trades. You need to have a solid foundation, and you need to build those through the years of high school so you can carry that into the real world.
Mm. So, do you find do they ever give you like any pushback when you try to like coach them or tell them what they need to be doing?
They're pretty.
Look, I'm asking like I don't have kids, so
There is a lot of pushback, but I think that's just the culture of students today, that they they think they know a lot more than they do. And it was the same back then. I won't even lie. Back then, maybe even more so, because we were very stubborn. But I think kids these days, they they push back to an extent, but once you give them an experience or a life story and give give them that knowledge,
yeah.
then they're like, oh wow, okay, now I kind of see where you're coming from. And I've got plenty of them, so there's a lot of times they're like, oh, okay, I get it.
So it's like when I think about students nowadays and just the information that they have right at their fingertips, where we had to go find the same information, whether it's in the library or maybe going through an encyclopedia. It's like, man, they can just fact check and have everything right there. And then now with Chat GPT or the introduction of all this automated stuff, it's like, man, they are almost like light years ahead of where we were, we were
So
in school.
yeah, so far ahead. And I'm glad you made mention about the resources these kids have, and that's like it's another challenge that they have to go through, because I feel like when I was in high school, or when I was younger, we didn't have the resources like the internet or social media or all these other things to help us maybe find our way, or guide us down a path that we kind of want to go down. But nowadays, kids have all of that, have the internet, they have all of access to gain any kind of knowledge they need to do or become whatever they want to become. I think Steve Harvey he had a motivational speech, and he touched base on this, and he said when he was younger, he'd have to get like go to the Rolodex, and then when he was at the library, go to the Rolodex, find the book, find the number, and then when you get there, the page is ripped out. But he made mention about the encyclopedia, and he said, if you ever the only thing we ever knew about elephants was the 2 pages it had in the encyclopedia, and now if you want to know about elephants, there's 2 million pages. So um, there's just these infinite amount of resources that these kids have. And like I said, it's very competitive. It's very competitive. And so if you don't put your full foot forward, then you're going to be left out the door.
Look, and I don't want to tell my age, but I'm sure Steve Harvey was talking about the Dewey Decimal System. It's like, no, it wasn't a Rolodex. It was like a freaking catalog that we had to go through to find a book. It's like, oh my God. And it was like, had to know who the author was. Then you had to figure out what aisle it was. Like, oh my God, yes, finding a book in the library is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. So yeah.
Yeah. I think when I was in high school, I think it was just that was a transitioning period into technology, and we had computers, but it wasn't as extensive uh, as it is today. And I think we were maybe a little more reluctant to use them because just it's learning something new, right? So at least I was kind of reluctant to use it. I'm very old school, but it's learning something new can often be a blessing. So yeah.
I'm sitting here thinking like, nah, when I was in school, we had word processors. It wasn't quite the computer that you know now. We had to type all of our prompts in. They just, you just tell it what you wanted to do now. So yeah, a little bit different, a little bit different. So I'm really telling my age, right?
Right. Hey, we're very blessed to have the things that we have.
I agree. I
Especially,
agree.
especially to use it for good.
Yeah. So, all right, I have another question for you here. So, what do you think is the most powerful lessons that students can learn from listening to your life experiences?
Yeah, I think, man, the most powerful thing is there's so much power behind the choices you make, and I think that here in my story, students can kind of understand the harsh realities that can come when you don't. Sorry,
Oh, good.
when you don't choose wisely. Um, those harsh realities when you don't choose wisely throughout your life, and especially when you get into an actual career, there's going to be big decisions you're going to have to make. And I think what's very important in regards to those is being proactive and having some forethought before making a decision. There's a lot of times in my life where I either made a selfish choice for myself or I made um, a choice too quickly, lack of a
Mm,
better term, lack of better words. And I think just guiding kids and allowing them to understand that it's okay to take your time to make your choice or decide what you want to do or decide what your decision is going to be. So I think that's kind of the main thing I'd like for kids to really resonate with when they hear my story.
yeah, that's good. No, that's good information.
Yeah.
Um, so when you think about, so what's one of the first things that you what's one thing that you find yourself telling students often?
Yeah, I think the one thing I tell students often is after you're done here or anywhere you go, make sure you take what you learned here and apply it to the next thing you do.
Hmm.
I tell my football players, listen, you've been athletes your whole life. And for some of you, this will be the last time you'll ever step foot on a field again, the last time you ever play a competitive sport where um, it matters, for lack of better words. So take what you've learned because once you leave, and I had this problem that I didn't really realize until later on in life, but once you leave something you love so much, you're not able to do it anymore. You start finding things to do to supplement that.
Hmm.
So what I try to encourage these kids to do is take everything you've learned and take what you have inside of you and apply it to the next thing because you have a long life and it's a constant evolution of yourself. So once you apply that to the next thing, you'll use that to apply to a new topic or a new learning aspect, and then you'll take and it's just a constant process. So um, I think that's really, yeah, it's really what I want to know.
No, that's good. So do you do you ever have your students that will come back and tell you that they wish they would have listened to something that you said when they didn't listen the first time?
Yeah, there's plenty of them. But listen, that'll go on. That's gone on for years, and it'll go on for years because, like I said, students are stubborn, right? So they're a little reluctant to take advice, and especially with me being a first-year coach, like I think they realized after a couple of weeks of me being there how committed I was to that program and to making sure that they excel. But I think they were a little stubborn, a little reluctant to take my words and whatnot.
Mm. So do you? Well, I know you mentioned this before. You said you see yourself in some of the players. Um, Do you find yourself being harder on the ones that you see that are more like you than the ones that are not?
I'll be honest. I think I'm equally as hard on every kid
Uh,
because a lot of kids don't know their talent yet. They don't know they have it in them, it's kind of like something my coach when I was a sophomore. Just a short story. After my sophomore football season, I wanted to quit. In reality, like I wanted to do other things than play football, the people that I shouldn't have been doing. But I used the excuse that I was too small and I wasn't cut out for football. And I went to my coach at the time. I said, Coach, I don't think I'm cut out for varsity football anymore. I'm too small. I'm too big, too heavy. He said, well, why don't you lose some weight and come out and try out for linebacker next year? And it kind of threw me off guard because it gave me an option to stay when I was in reality. I was just the only option I thought I had for myself was leaving. And I just took that really to heart. And he saw a confidence in me that I didn't even see myself. And I think that went a long way because I decided to stay with the program. And I really committed myself. 5:30 in the morning workouts, and then after school for another hour and a half in nutrition and diet, and it all paid off. I started my junior year, and then senior year, I was awarded all conference, and now my face is on the wall at the high school.
nice.
So yeah, so it's like I speak to all these students because I was once a student who didn't think I had it. There's plenty, or a student athlete who didn't think I had it. So I like to kind of mention that story when I tell them because then they're like, oh, wow, maybe if I just try a little harder, or put a little more commitment um, into my craft to see what I can really excel and take this thing. And it's that's why I think it's just there might be some kids because there are certain expectations from captains. They're captains for a reason, right? Because they've already shown that they're able to take hold of a leadership role and encourage their own peers to find a better version of themselves. So I might be a little harder on them, but as for I expect everyone to give me 100%. I'm there. What I didn't realize before I signed up for this commitment was that this is a 7-day. Well, during the season, it's 7 days a week. So it's just if I'm going to be that committed, I need you to be that committed.
Right.
And I think a lot of them hear it and feel it and see it in my eyes when I speak to them that I'm being 100 with them. Like there's no BS when it comes to me speaking. I'm going to give you the real truth, and I'm not going to sugarcoat much. So if I don't think you're producing the way you should be, then I'm going to say something about it.
So, are you working out with them at 5:30 in the morning? You working out by yourself at 5:30 in the morning?
No, this was when I was in high school.
Um,
I went to so I did double workouts. So I made I wanted to lose weight, but I still wanted to gain muscle. So I was doing cardio in the morning, and then after school I would be doing weight training.
and
So
how old were you at this time?
I was a sophomore in high school going into my junior season. So
Wow, it's like 15, 16.
I was 15 years old,
Man,
and
that's dedication.
it was dedication. And thankfully, I did live right behind the high school, so it's kind of easy to get to people before. But it's a dedication that I think that a lot of kids need to realize that they have inside of them. Anybody can do it as long as you want to commit and you want to do it. I love that football program. That's why I decided, I'm like, okay, he's right. I can make more of a commitment and see where this goes. So, yeah.
So, what made you want to? What was that one thing that clicked for you that made you want to say, "Okay, I got to do this"? Like getting up at 5:30 in the morning at 15 years old.
Gosh, I don't know. I
Mm.
think I just really I wanted to play football, and like I said, I've loved that program since I was a little kid. When I was a little kid, like I said, I lived right behind the high school, and I lived at the corner, and the fence there was about 8 feet high. And on Saturday mornings, I would go to that corner of the fence, and I would hop it, and I would go watch the football games. I'm talking, I'm 6, 7, 8 years old, and I would do this all the way up until, probably freshman year. And I just my heart is really instilled into that high school and that football program. And once I kind of went home and thought about all of that and really put that into perspective, and I think I was younger. I was older in my years in terms of knowledge of realizing like, hey, this is if I do this, I'm never going to play football again. So I was wise to the fact of that, and I realized that all it is a small commitment, or at
Mhm.
least what I thought was a small commitment that turned into something so much bigger. But I think along the way, you do things like this. You don't really realize what you're finding. You think you're doing it to really benefit yourself, but you're really benefiting others because you're forming a brotherhood, and you're instilling all the things that are good within yourself into a brotherhood, and a million things make up a good soup, right? A million different vegetables and meats and ingredients. So that's the same as a team. There's got to be different personalities to make up the team to make sure it's successful. So instilling I instilled my own me into the program, and everyone took a liking to it. I took a liking to everybody I was working out with, and it was just once I saw all of that happening, it was an easy decision for me. And obviously, I'm just very grateful um, that Coach Stilling saw something in me and decided to challenge me. So that's what I like to do with the kids now. I challenge them because challenge them with something that maybe they've never been challenged with.
Mm. No, that's good.
Yeah.
So now I have to ask you about these tattoos because you talk about being resilient. You got to be some type of resilient to keep going back to get more and more tattoos.
Oh my gosh, I might be done.
So I want to know what was the one that was probably the toughest tattoo for you to get? Like, what was the one where you were like, it while you were getting, you're probably saying to yourself, "Why am I doing this to myself?"
Uh, I think it was the one on my ribs. I'm a diehard Chicago White Sox fan, and I have good guys wear black with the White Sox logo right on my rib, and it's probably about a 10 by 14. It's big, and it's thick black and just and I got it. My buddy. Not proud of this story, but he did do a good job. I got it. My buddy got a tattoo machine, and he was tattooing out of his house. And I was laying on his ottoman, chewing on a wooden spoon to help with the pain. And like I said, it did come out great. It still looks great, but there was a lot of pain involved in that. And with their record, the past couple of years, I've been wearing more shirts lately.
So look, was he helping you out, or you helping him out? Was he helping you out by giving you a tattoo, or you helping him out trying to start his tattoo business?
This was more pro bono work for him.
Oh my gosh!
And that's like, let's just throw it on my ribs so not many people can see it. But hey, like I said, it turned out great. It still looks great.
Oh my goodness!
But there's a lot of pain that comes into it. And it's funny is the needle is like it's so small, so I can take that. But when I go have to get blood or draw blood, I'm like looking away.
No, I
But there,
got one. That was it for me. I wasn't going back. I'm like, nah, this is just too much pain. Why?
yeah. I feel like there is, and after a certain point, it does kind of just become so painful that it becomes painless. So uh, there's a
Wow.
what?
You said so much pain becomes painless. Okay.
It's just like, oh my god! And I'll tell a trick for anybody listening, and it works. If it starts hurting, just bite on your tongue a little bit to move the pain to somewhere else in your body. But
I'll take your word for it.
yeah,
Like, I'm good.
yeah. But I have a lot, and I'd say 90% of them are very meaningful to me, and you know what? I'm surprised that I think there's probably like 5 or 6 kids on the football team that had tattoos, and
Really?
yeah, and when I was in high school, that was a no go. So I think it's becoming more accepted, which I'm very happy to see. I don't think people should be judged by their appearance. I think they should be
Mm.
judged by their heart and what they want to create for this world and do for the world. So it is kind of funny. I am around the high school a lot, and you do see some teachers look at me kind of like I'm looking at the camera, like so. But I usually smile, and they give me a smile back, and it's everything's good.
So do you find that the more and more you're around those students that they come and talk to you more often?
Yeah, and I kind of made a mention of that after about a month of being in the program, and I was kind of getting getting acclimated and speaking with these kids and just trying to hear their story and and I think sorry, wait, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just wondering if you know what, I almost forgot myself. I'm listening to you answer the question. What did I ask you? Oh my God.
Was
What
it
happened?
about tattoos and
See,
then
that's what happens when you get two people with ADHD up here. It's like I'm listening. I forgot about the question.
tattoos? I'm like, hold on, I got an appointment 2 weeks from now. And no.
It's like I'm listening. It's like, wait a minute, what was the question? The question is the answer. No.
Oh gosh. Uh,
Oh my goodness, no, no. Wait, let me think real quick. What did I ask you? Um, was it about the? And I'm like, I'm just going from off the hip, so I don't have it written
yeah,
down.
yeah.
Um, oh no, I asked you about whether or not do you find that they come to talk to you
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
more often the more that
Yeah.
you're around them?
Yeah, like I said, about a month in, and once I was acclimated to the program, and I was kind of wanting to dive into their story to kind of help mine. Um, I realized once they saw how attentive about listening to them, they felt that comfortableness
Mm-hmm.
to tell me not everything, but open up enough to think that I can give them some insight. And I actually started kind of just listening to conversations and asserting myself anyways, because a lot of kids won't ask for help.
Mm.
So I think just showing them a presence that, hey, I'm here and I'm here to help you. So I think showing that allows kids to see like, hey, he might have all these tattoos on him, but he actually gives me a lot of wisdom and he listens, and I hope they appreciate that very much because I'm all ears whenever they're speaking to me because, like I said, I want to listen to their story to help my own and help them. So uh, yeah, and I'll be honest with you, it feels really good when they come to you to ask for help because it shows that sense of trust and and throughout the season you see new kids kind of opening up more and more and more and it's a good feeling because it shows that you're doing the right thing by showing them that they have someone to come to.
Yeah. So when you think about just the different challenges that you faced when you were their age and what they face now, the stories or the things that they tell you, what's like the biggest difference between what you're hearing now and what you experienced when you were their age?
What their experience? So it's
Yeah.
100% the schedule and
Really? Okay.
and uh, how much they cram into a day, and that's kind of something that
Yeah, 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 I can see that.
yeah. So a lot of these kids, and I'll speak just on behalf of the student athletes, they play multiple sports, and a lot of them aren't affiliated. This is what is a big difference from high school now opposed to when I went. Is there's a lot more kids playing sports that aren't affiliated with the school they go to. They play for
Like
clubs,
AAU and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah. So they play for clubs, programs, stuff like that, and some of them play for um, teams that aren't even in the area that are half hour, 45 minutes away just because that program is better and they play better competition, which I get.
Mm.
But it puts a lot of pressure on kids to make sure they get everything done in the allotted time. And I think we need to give them a little bit more credit um, in regards to that because I think that's an aspect that adults don't really understand because with all this technology and with all these resources we have, it allows us to be more efficient and to get more things done. And I
Mhm.
think sometimes we put a lot of that pressure on the kids to get more things done when in reality they should be taking their time and processing and processing their life right now, processing school, friends, family,
That's a lot.
counselors, boyfriends, girls. Yeah, there's so much that going on in their life, and it's I think that's the biggest difference for
Man,
sure.
then throw social media on top of all of that. like, with everything else with their schedule, and then the pressure that you get from comparing yourself to people all over the world as opposed to just right there in your school.
Yeah,
That's huge pressure in itself.
yeah, and then honestly, that can be a message for anybody who goes on social media and thinks that they need to start comparing their lives to other people, or students have to compare their lives to other students. Listen, you were given a life, and you were given a gift, and you were given an opportunity to do something with that gift, just like everybody else. Okay, so it's your job to go out there and find purpose with that, and I think it's just goes to show, like, there's so many resources you can do to use your gift, use that gift, and expand and spread it out there. So, uh, yeah.
No, that's really good. So let me actually, I got one more question for you. So, well, actually, I got two. What about students? So, first one is like, if you could leave the students with one key takeaway, one key takeaway for advice that you would give them just to go forward, what would that be?
Yeah, I think I've spoken on it a lot, but it's 100% true. Once you find your gift, you'll find your purpose in life. And I didn't realize my gift until I was let go, but I have a gift of long suffering, and I have a gift of being able to speak and communicate, and a way of articulating my ideas into things that people can grasp. And I think just finding and it's allowed me to find my purpose. And now I'm speaking to students all over the country. So that's really my main thing that I really want kids to understand. Is once they might already even have their gift, they just don't even know it's a gift yet. And once you use that to just spread good to everybody you can, that 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 is a meaningful life.
Yes, well, I know I met you in Cancun, Mr. International Speaker, speaking on the stage, and your story was, like I said, I loved your story, so I asked you to be on the show. But people that want to bring you in to come and speak to their students and talk to them about overcoming struggles so that they can have, what am I trying to say? I'm getting tongue tied here. Bring you in so that you can speak to their students about overcoming struggles so that they can have opportunities for growth. There we go. Ha! Tell them how they can get in touch with you. I got your social media scrolling across the bottom, but go ahead and tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, my name is Johnny Coz on Instagram. It's Johnny Coz 22. My Facebook John Coz 70 .79, and my website at johnnycozspeaks.com. And I am looking to impact students on so many levels, and I cannot wait to expand and grow and just feed into these kids, and feed life into these kids, and I'm just so excited.
Yes. So you guys, if you want to bring somebody in to motivate your students, this is the guy right here to do it. And he's being real mild right now. I heard him screaming on the stage before, so he's just being real calm. Trust me, kids up
Like
there,
I
he's
said,
motivating for real.
every time I give my full heart and everything I have when I speak, and I, like I said, I just want to impact and help, and help change.
Yes. All right. So I have my final question for you. It's something that I asked all of my guests on the show. And that is the name of the title of the show is Alpha Intuition. So when you hear that phrase Alpha Intuition, what does it mean to you?
When I hear alpha intuition, it is having the utmost mindset to complete any task, any job, any challenge that you face, with all the good characteristics and traits that make you into the person you are today. And and when you actually dive into those traits and start dissecting them a little bit, they're all alpha. Okay, so use what you have to make yourself and everybody else great.
I love it. I love it. That is amazing. That's a mic drop moment. Bam. Well, Johnny, thank you so very much for joining me on Alpha Intuition today. I truly, truly appreciate you. And I know once you get out here and you start speaking across these stages, just think about little old me and come back and say hello to me and the Alpha Intuition family.
Always, I will always think of you, and always reach out to you. You are so amazing. I love everything you're doing, and I'm extremely proud of you as well.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, Alpha Intuition family, that is it for today's episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed the topics that Johnny brought forth. And if you, once again, if you would like to bring him in, I'm going to run your information across the bottom one more time. You can find him on social media, and he also has his website at johnnycozspeaks.com. So if you I am so tongue tied today. This is just crazy. I'm being a bad host. My goodness, can't even close out the show. Whew. Well, as always, I love listening to my listeners, even when you guys feel like you can't understand what I'm saying. But if you have any questions on the topics that Johnny talked about today, just make sure you drop those questions in the comments, and we'll do our best to try to go back and answer them for you. And if you enjoyed today's show with me and all my fumbling of my words, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave me a review. You can also connect with us on social media. Mine is Keisha_the_electrician, or you can reach Johnny at Johnny Coz Speaks. You guys remember that the journey to the top of any mountain begins with one single step. Don't stop, keep climbing. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.